go. Come down here, edit that. And let's go ahead and we're going to get loaded in here now. Wasn't expecting to make it sound like I just completed a quest there. Yeah, that's not going to be a win. That's normally the upper one, so let's do... Really? Okay. Let's go grab those, then we'll start on the Path of Ascension, Master of the Path. That way we don't forget to grab them. Get for Renown this week. I think we get the last dude. Powerful foes of Maldraxxus. Okay. So we got everything we want over here. What is that? Not need that Tyrion. Might as well take that one. Okay. In we go. So the first one we're going to work on here looks to be, let's go with Umanuru. Thank you so much for joining me today for the Path of Ascension Humility Guides. Of course, we are working towards Master of the Path today, so I'll be doing the Numenuru fight with Pelagos. So you come down here to Pelagos, choose Pelagos. For this, I'm going to use the Deep Echo Trident, so that way I can interrupt the fire fairy. And of course, we're going to come over here to our Soul Mirror. We're going to come down here to Numenuru. Come over here to Humility. We click Choose. We cannot do this with any charms or braziers, so you're going to want to make sure to come over here and turn both of these off. So for the fight with Numenuru, he casts the ability Sow, and that will put fairies around the stage. These are life linked to him, so killing them in packs will do a large amount of damage to Numenuru, rather than just single targeting them and killing them. His second ability, of course, is he will summon a volatile fairy, which will then explode after it completes its task. You want to, of course, either interrupt it, you want to kill it, or you want to use your shield so that way it kills itself. The third fairy that he summons is a symbiotic fairy, which will do basically a shield link to him, and as long as it's alive, he will not take extra damage. So during that, you want to make sure to be careful, so that way you do not do a big amount of damage to a group of fairies, because that will stop the damage from coming to him. So you'll want to make sure to take care of that fairy first, and then kill the grouping of fairies and continue to DPS them. Of course, for this, we'll be using Test of Faith. We'll be using Aspirant's Bindings on the group of fairies, and this is a good single target. And then Confront Memories, we'll probably be taking the shield or the haste. Haste is the one in the center. Shield is the one on the right. And of course, on the fairies, you can line of sight them with the platforms. So normally I start here. Normally the first volatile fairy spawns over here. And then that way you kind of know where you're looking to go there. And of course, you can just hide behind the pillars to avoid taking damage from the group that's up here or over here, depending on where you're standing. That way you can kill the ones here, here, and of course the groupings there in the middle. And then, of course, we'll use Unleash when we can use it to successfully kill a large group of fairies. So I'm going to go ahead and ring the bell, and just like you, do the same as well. Make sure to leave a like and also a comment. You can also follow me on Twitch or YouTube. Twitch, you can find me under the_Dab86. Let's go ahead and get this started here. And you do have a minute 40 seconds to do this on Humility. He, of course, as always, has increased damage and HP. Alright, we got a pretty good grouping right off the bat. We're going to go ahead and kill that one. I'm going to take out this one. Come over here. Take out those ones. Here comes the Deep Echo Trident. Where is it? It said he summoned a symbiotic fairy. There it is. Go ahead and do this. I grabbed the wrong thing. Now die. I messed up there. He should have. That should have been my victory. Oh, it was my victory. So that is Master of the Path on Numenuru. You saw there how it started spreading that stuff because I went past the timer. But it does look like we did manage to get the achievement, or get credit towards the achievement. So come down here and we'll just confirm that. Yep, so we got Numenuru now done. I messed up there. I didn't kill the symbiotic as fast as I would have liked there. And then, of course, I had the fire there. What up there? Thank you so much for joining me today there, Helgebra. We were just working on our Master of the Path here. So the next one we're going to do... I guess we could do Splinter Bark Nightmare. Actually, let's go ahead and we're going to do Alduin and Mjolnir. That was the only one that I actually one-shot. I think I might have one-shot Splinter Bark too, I'm not quite sure. And I do apologize, I do all my guides live, so you'll have to bear with me for the introductions for all of them. So that way I can create it later on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me today for the Path of Ascension Humility. We will be doing Master the Path, and we are doing the fight on Alduin and Mjolnir. So we're going to come over here to our Soul Mirror. So we go Alduin and Mjolnir. We go to Humility. I'm already chosen Pelagos. So for this, we're going to go with the Phial of Serenity, because we're going to be standing, we're going to be pretty much standing and eating the Anima Seed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain this fight here quickly. So of course, Alduin and Mjolnir, they're two mobs. They share a life pool. They will be here in the center. Alduin's abilities are Anima Burst, which is pretty much he will shoot Anima Burst at you. The second one is Anima Dervish. He will do a line of tornadoes that rotate around in a circle. You just want to move around to avoid those as best as possible. His third ability is Anima Seed, which he will do a cast bar. Normally you would interrupt this. In this case, we're going pure DPS on him. So that way we will be having to stand in it. And then, of course, during that you'll soak it and it will slowly go down and it will dissipate. Then for Mjolnir, she is a range, so the first thing she'll do is when you start the fight is she will disengage and run off to some random part of the stage. Since it is on Humility difficulty, she does teleport randomly around the stage. She does two attacks. One is Double Shot, so she'll do two frontal cone arrows in groupings of 3. If it was coming at me like this, we would just stand in the safe spot. The other one is Triple Shot, which is 3 groupings of 3 arrows, also in a frontal cone. Once again, there'll be a safe spot in between them. The further away she is, the more of a gap that you'll get, so her teleportation does kind of help you there. We, of course, will be DPSing Alduin, so we'll be using Test of Faith. We'll be using Aspirin's Binding to keep him away from us. We'll be using Confront Memory. When we can, we'll probably be taking the straight-up DPS from the Haste. Most likely, if things get sketchy, we'll, of course, have to take the Shield. We, of course, have Phial of Serenity to get health. And we'll be using Unleash as often as we can. If we're lucky, we'll be able to hit both of them. But with Mjolnir, since she does teleport randomly, there's not much you're going to be able to do to stop that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ring the bell, and just like you, do the same, so that way you can see notifications when I make new content. And also leave a like, leave a comment, And make sure to follow me there on YouTube or on Twitch. On Twitch, you can find me under the _Dab86. You will. I am working on those. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and start this off. Actually, let me find the sweet spot here first. So this way I don't have to get closer than necessary. Start DPSing. There's dervishes. Gonna do that. Here comes the first anima seed, which he cast right under his own feet. Which she's not moving around all too much, which is good for me. We're gonna go ahead and didn't he just do an anima seed? And that is Aldrin and Mjolnir for the Path of Ascension, Master of the Path. Once again, we check, we now have credit. Honestly, it's still not a hard fight because of her teleportation. It really spreads out her arrows, and since she can literally appear anywhere, a good thing to do is use your Aspirin's Binding to kind of hold her in place so she can't teleport, and then use your Unleash to hit them both. If, of course, if she's within a reasonable area for you to time your Unleash in a timely fashion. If she's nowhere near him and you can't correctly bind her and you got to kind of kite all over the place, I'd recommend just using the Unleash. But I appreciate that. I'm trying to work on the guides. Of course, I have a finite amount of time, and then, of course, I have a finite amount of medallions. They kind of, with this, you can quickly burn out of medallions. Last week, we tried Ector. I think I wasted like 70 on Clea. That fight is a mess. I hate that fight. It wouldn't seem like it'd be all that hard. It's just the fact that, like, Ector doesn't want to move with you when you're meleeing her. So there'll be times you'll be just, like, backpedaling, and all of a sudden she'll just be like, oh, I don't feel like meleeing anymore, and then you can't get her to follow you. And then she surrounds herself with, like, the green puddles, and it becomes a huge mess. Like, the only thing I can think of for that is you really just have to get her close to, like, a pillar, so you just DPS, DPS. Oh, she's going to do the thing. Step around the corner. DPS, DPS, DPS. Kill the spiders, kill spiders, kill spiders. DPS, DPS, DPS. Oh, green crap spawn. Let's kite her around here. DPS, 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 DPS. Oh, she's doing in fumes and all that stuff. That wasn't too bad. I was a little bit on the ugly side, though, for that last fight. So who do we want to do next here? Takes care of that one. We got Splinterbark, a Thanos. I really feel like I could do a Thanos with even whatchamacallit, in all honesty. Let's go ahead and do Splinterbark Nightmare with Clea. So let's see here. Thank you so much for once again joining me today for Path of Ascension Humility with Master of the Path achievement. We will be doing Splinterbark Nightmare with Clea. So we're going to come over here to Splinterbark Nightmare. We choose Humility. We, of course, cannot do it with any braziers or charms. I already have those deactivated. We're going to come up here. We're going to snag Clea. And then for this, we're going to take the Phial of Serenity for the help. So the way the fight works is, of course, Splinterbark Nightmare has 2 phases. In his first phase, he will run up and DPS you. During this, he casts Shadow Splinter Spike, which will do several black swirls on the ground or gray swirls. They will then erupt from the ground and they will stay there for the phase one. If they hit you when they burst out, or if you walk into them after the fact, it will stun you in place. The other thing during that is he will cast a green flower notated by a green swirl. It will then turn into a green flower. Grabbing this will give you a buff that stacks 10 times, 9% reduction for each one, so a total of 90% damage reduction. You want to make sure to grab those when it is safe to do so, so that way you can stack up the damage mitigation. During that phase, he will also be gathering rage. Once he has hit 100 rage, he will enrage, and then he will start doing enraged smash. And during that phase, taking that damage is lethal, so that's why you want to make sure to have the green flowers and make sure that there are still some up to kind of get you through that as well. We, of course, will be DPSing with Ascended Strike. It is a frontal cone attack where it does the most damage to the front. It does less damage the less out of the center it is. Keen Insight will allow us to retaliate back on any hit that we take. Leap of Faith does a slow. Probably not going to be doing too much leaping unless it's on the phase where he's doing that. But of course, the main thing is we'll be doing Archon's Blessing, which will increase our damage of Ascended Strike by 200%. So we're going to want to make sure as soon as that pops, we're going to want to make sure to go straight into our Ascended Strike and just spam it. Absolutely just spam it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ring the bell, and just like you, make sure to do the same, so that way you can see when I post new content. Also, make sure to leave a like, leave a comment, follow me or subscribe on YouTube or Twitch. On Twitch, you can find me as under the underscore Dab 86. Let's go ahead and get that bell rung and get this started. And then his new ability as well to be mindful of, since we are at melee now, so this is where we might actually have to use our jump, is if he starts casting Nightmarish Wail. I almost forgot to mention that. It is a fear effect that will fear you, and last thing you want to do is run all over the stage, and especially into the Splinter Bark spikes. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get this started here. There's our first flower. It didn't pick up for some reason. I don't know why. I think that one's glitched for some reason. I got myself stunned trying to get to this flower, which was reckless. I lost the first two. I'm just like stunned. I'm stunned out right there. Of course, I didn't have the full thing there. I messed up there. I allowed myself. I was trying to get that flower that wasn't picking up for some reason, which was my bad. I should have just abandoned it at that point. Try this again. And then also, let me do something else. Key bindings. Yes. There we go. That way I can move backwards. Oh, no worries. I mean, you can do it whenever. I mean, I've been just knocking it out as I've been unlocking it. The biggest thing is the medallions. I hate the fact that there's a kind of like a. I don't mind it, but I don't like it either. I shouldn't say I hate it, but the fact that you have to use a currency to come in here, and then on some of the fights, you use so much of your currency, and then it's like, oh, I can't do any. I'm gonna have to wait till I can farm up some more. I think right now I'm at like 60 or something like that. No, I'm at 70. But I mean, you can get like 15 a day just by doing the rare spawns out in Bastion and all that jazz. let's grab that one to refresh. And that should be the fight. Easy peasy. So once again, that was Master the Path on Splinterbark Nightmare there with Clea. It wasn't all too hard, just make sure that you maintain that damage reduction buff throughout the fight, because if you lose it, he will start to kind of chew through you. We did get to use our equipment like 2-3 times there, kept our health up, but all in all, not too bad. We came out of it with 65% remaining. What's my inventory looking like? It's starting to get a little bit full. Let's zone out here real quickly and send that meat off. But just make sure to keep an eye out. We'll definitely have the guides up as soon as possible. I've still got to do a lot of the Clea fights. I've got to get my one for Calistine still posted with Clea. Of course, now we have the fight with Splinterbark Nightmare for Clea, and of course, it'll also work towards the achievement. And then we've now got Numenuru that we also need to post. And who was the other one we just did with Pelagos? Alduran and Mjolnir. And Alduran and Mjolnir, in all honesty, was the one I one-shot. Like, I think I might have one-shot Splinterbark too. I might have messed up on that fight though, just because I don't. Not that I don't. It's that I accidentally always get hit by that shadow spike. So let's do this. Reagent. Buy meat. So of course. That's vendor trash. Vendor. That brings us back to 18. I think it's because we've got bacon in our inventory. You can never go wrong with bacon. It's lucky in every way, shape, and form. Recommend everyone has at least 2 to 3 slices of bacon in their inventory. And I've heard some people, like, you're able to, like, cast spells on them. Like, I've heard, like, druids have been able to, like, cast, like, hots or whatnot on, like, Pelagos before they start the fight, which is really weird. Or on the 3. Don't quote me on that. I'm a warrior. I can't really cast a spell. I mean... Okay, so who are we doing next here? Yeah, I send it to my Demon Hunter right now. It's not my bank tune, it's just the tune that I'm choosing to send it to. And of course, once I get through all of this, because this fills up your inventory so quickly with crap. Like, you clear a stage, and like you saw, I just got like 6 items worth of inventory stuff. But then again, I've got a terrible habit of collecting stuff, so my inventory is already a mess. So let's take a look. Who do we want to do? I would probably say we should do a Thanos next. So that takes care of you. Let's see, power swing, mouse charge, shield charge. Okay. Thank you once again for joining me today for the Path of Ascension, Humility for Master of the Path. We will be doing a Thanos, so we're going to come over to our Soul Mirror. So we're going to go to a Thanos. We come over here to Humility. And then from here, we're going to use Clea for this, so we're going to choose Clea. And then we're going to come over here for this. We're going to use the File of Serenity, just like we did with Splinterbark Nightmare. So for this, a Thanos is a pure melee boss. The things you want to watch out for, of course, are Power Swing. It's a frontal cleave swing that if it connects with you, it will knock you backwards a great distance. So if you're going to get hit by it, I'd recommend to have your back in this direction so that way you fly over here. Since we're going on a tight schedule with the timer, which I believe on a Thanos is 2 minutes 30 seconds. We'll see that once we start the fight. But that way you land over there, because if you get hit in any other direction, you're going to fly off the stage. The second thing he does is Massive Charge. It's a frontal charge that will take him from across the stage. So if you're fighting him here and he charges in this direction, he will charge all the way to the edge. So for this, since we are in a tight timer, so that way he doesn't enrage, is we're going to want to park him in an area where we can still, his charge doesn't take him too far away from us, and we can sidestep it and continue DPSing him. His third ability is Shielded Charging. He will take a knee and start regenerating his energy. He uses that whenever he uses one of his abilities. And he will have two shields that will rotate around him slowly, either clockwise or counterclockwise. Let's say, for example, if it's going this way around him, I would recommend standing towards the shield that is rotating away from you. If you're standing near the shield that is rotating towards you, there is a dead zone where it doesn't look like there's a shield, but he will absorb the damage rather than taking it. So do be mindful of that. And his final ability is Quaking Shockwave, which will do 2 rings around him. So the first one is a close one within melee distance, so about here. And then he'll do an outer one about there. So you can just step out real quickly, let it hit, step back in. If not, I haven't really seen it do all too much damage. But of course, we'll be DPSing him with Ascended Strike. We'll be using Keen Insight to retaliate, so we can reflect some damage back at him. Leap of Faith we'll use if we absolutely need to, most likely probably get out of Quaking Shockwave. And then, of course, we'll be using Archon's Blessing to do a lot of damage during that phase, so we're going to want to make sure to keep him as close as possible. And we took File Serenity if we need any help. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ring the bell, and just like you, do the same so that way you can get notifications of when I post new content. Also, leave a like, leave a comment, make sure to follow me or subscribe on YouTube, or you can also follow me on Twitch. I am _Dab86. Let's go ahead and get this started here. And once again, since this is for Master of the Path, you cannot use any charms and you cannot use any braziers. So I have those deactivated currently. So this is straight out Clea here. So we're going to start moving him towards an edge here. Not too much though, because he's going to do his power swing any second here. There it is. And I messed up on that because I didn't see the gray cast bar. Did not see that at all. So that was my bad. I apologize for that. I think I was too zoomed out why I didn't see it in time. I knew he was going to cast it there. Just wasn't paying enough attention to know he was casting it. You could probably honestly even do this on Pelagos as well. Just get him over somewhere where he's kind of in a tight spot. I'd probably recommend over here, so that way when he does his charge, he's either here or here when he hits the wall. I should be casting it here any second. Oh my god. I'm going to do his Quaking Shockwave there. There's his Power Swipe. We shouldn't have taken that shockwave is what did us in there, but not too bad. It was close. I took that one shockwave, and also I took a full power swipe to the face, too. In all honesty, we should have died with that power swipe. But it was close. So we lost a little bit of DPS during that time, flying back. Oop, helps if I actually... Too bad I can't glitch it and just zone in as myself. Then I'd probably be able to do it. Isle of Serenity. Jump back in here. Wasn't expecting him to open up with Quaking. That was unexpected. There's Shockwave. It's Power Swipe. There's Massive Charge. Let's not get hit by that. Let's go ahead and use that. There's Power Swing. Quaking. Ah, I didn't even see it. I didn't see it. We had him that time. This is what happens when you waste medallions. All in all, once again, not a hard fight. Just making mistakes. Oh, God, now I've got fish in my inventory. Fish and meat. Let's give that another try. Clea. That was close. We almost did that. Oh, man. And moving back where we've been fighting him. That's a power swing. That's a shockwave. That's a massive charge, so we're going to wait for it, hit him. That's a quaking shockwave. That's a power swing. We should be getting ready to... That's a massive charge. That sucks. He should go into shielded charging here. If you can get lucky here with your crits. And we're not making bad time, so... That's a power swing. I don't want him to run across the map again. Damn it. Oh, 890. I would have had that if I wouldn't have gotten knocked back. I keep silly, silly mistakes. No, now I've got an inventory full of meat and fish. So we gotta zone out again here. I've still got all of Mechanicos. For Master of the Path, I've just got Craven Corinth and well, once I get a Thanos done here, once I'll stop making mistakes. Let me just check. And Azeriks, which I feel like Clay would be another good one there as well, just because of his ads. So that's Agent Fish, fish, meat, 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 fish, fish, fish. Okay, send out the herbs, herb, herb. And of course, vendor trash. Stop making these mistakes on a Thanos. Such an easy fight, and I'm making simple, simple mistakes. Okay, give that another try. But for Clea, I've got a lot of her fights still left to do as well. Because we've done Calistine. Ecthra, I'm still, like, really just avoiding. We got Alderaan, Numenuru, Craven Corinth, Antiroch, Mad Mortimer, if I can talk. I think that's the thing I hate about most. Is not losing, it's having an inventory full of poop that it hands you when you lose. Make sure the braziers are off. Why can't this be glitched like all the other achievements where you can actually have the braziers on or some crap? God, that'd be nice, right? With how, like... And I'm sure, I wouldn't be surprised if over the next, like, months or whatnot, they actually tune these fights down, too. Some of them honestly really don't need tuning down, but like Mad Mortimer definitely probably does. Let's start moving him towards an edge here. What, he caught me? What? Who would have thought that could happen? Gotta be careful where I leap to. So I'm hoping to get a little bit of leap damage in there. And I want to check something real quick too. I mean, it's not on the global, so I guess that's promising. So I guess I could be technically using that as well and just leaping in front of him repeatedly to add some damage. Did not expect him to full-on catch me like he did. Okay. Oh my god, I wasn't even paying attention. That's precious seconds that are lost. Oh, that's Quaking Shockwave. Let's get away from that. That's a massive charge. That's probably going to hit me. So close. Once again, that is the difference of just not getting knocked back right there. That's all that is. That is the only difference there is not getting knocked back. And I keep not noticing it. Oh well. Main thing is we're having fun and we're ascending together. What's up, Peaches? You gonna go do peachy stuff, or are you gonna come over and visit? Nope, you're gonna go away. Let's grab a drink here real quick. There. Doesn't really matter which way you take him here. Just I'm doing this so that way I get him closer to a wall, so he doesn't charge a huge distance away from me when he does do his charge. There's Quaking. There's a power swing. And that is a Thanos. We barely beat him because once again I made two mistakes there. I let a shockwave hit me, and I let him charge away. But that is a Thanos. So now we just need Craven Corinth and Azeriks. Okay. Thanks again for once again joining me today on the Path of Ascension Humility. We will be doing Master of the Path. We are going against Craven Corinth. So for this, we're going to come over here to our Soul Mirror. We come over here to Craven Corinth. We come down to Humility. During this, we cannot use any braziers or charms. So for this, we're going to be using Pelagos. And what we're going to do is we are going to take the Ring of Warding. This way, what it's going to do is it's going to allow us to basically bounce him off of us, so that way he can't get close to us, allowing us to keep our shield for Confront Memories. So the way this boss works is his first ability is Fan of Desolation. So he'll, of course, teleport here to the center. He does lines of blood that extend outwards from him. The first two casts will have dead zones in between them, so you want to get to the safe zones. The third cast will cover about 75% of the stage, with 25% of it being safe. You want to make sure to get to that. The way we're going to be doing it, of course, is we're going to be using our Confront Memories to basically soak that, so that way we don't have to worry about moving too much here. We're going to make sure to focus all of our DPS on him by using the Ring of Warding to keep him away from being able to touch us. So we would just use our Ring of Warding. So, of course, you can see here he will not be able to pass through this barrier. We can, of course, pass through it. So even if we wanted to, we could even back up and stand on the opposite side of it, because he'll just bounce off, allowing more distance between him and us. It does stay up here for a good amount of time. If you're using it on other fights, the thing to keep in mind is, like, if 4 enemies touch it, it immediately breaks. So it allows us to bounce him 4 times, which should allow us to keep our Confront Memories up and keeping a good distance away from him. The second thing that we have to be mindful of is he will teleport behind one of these pillars, and he'll summon an Anima Orb, which he'll begin consuming. As he consumes this, of course, gives him back health. One thing I have noticed, of course, is hitting it with Aspirin's Binding. By the time you get to it, it'll mostly kill it. And then I would just recommend doing Test of Faith on him, rather than wasting a Test of Faith on the actual Anima Orb if it only has like 10% of its health left. You're wasting damage there at that point, especially since I believe the fight only has a minute 20 seconds to down him. I know it's a really, really short timer. And he does a lot of slap damage. It's why you want to make sure to keep him out of melee range as best as possible. And of course, we'll be DPSing him with Test of Faith. Aspirin's Binding to keep him away from us. Confront Memories will be taking the shield. Unleash whenever we can. And of course, make sure that it's timed okay, so that way he's not going to teleport somewhere and make us miss. And then I almost forgot the other 2 abilities, of course, that he gained from Wisdom that he still has in Humility, is as he moves around, he will do circles of blood on the ground. Stepping in that does do damage, and he'll summon blood orbs that stepping into that slows you down. So I'm going to go ahead and ring the bell, and just like you, make sure you do the same as well, so you can get notifications when I put out new content. Also, make sure to leave a like, leave a comment, and follow me or subscribe if you're watching on YouTube or Twitch. On Twitch, you can find me under the_Dab86. So you can already see there, he's got his first little ground thing from where he's there. And that is, of course, due to the Tis But a Scratch. He's only got 117k health, and like I said, you got a minute 20. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start off here. This first Confront Memories, I am going to take the haste. So that way we can maximize our damage here. Ow. We were probably going to die if this is not the safe zone. That was my bad. I should have just taken the shield. I was way too far out on that. My bad. But that actually works beautifully. Ring of Warning. I think one of the quests was actually, like last week, was to beat Craven Corinth on Ring of Warding. So the quests might even be hints on how to even do these fights, in all honesty. I was hoping my Confront Memory would be up faster than that, but I was wrong. We're just going to keep DPSing him because this will, of course, proc my shield right there. I'm going to hit him with that. He should be getting ready to teleport here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take that. He's over here. We'll go ahead and do that because if he teleports anywhere... We're going to wait till he goes in the middle here. We're way too far out. Whoa, wow, we've already hit the timer? Jesus. I feel like I need to stay closer in the middle, is what I need to do. I feel like I'm messing that up by being too far out because I couldn't DPS him during that phase. I wonder if I'd almost be able to put it down and when he teleports there, if it would bounce him out. I'd be curious on that. Oh, no, I'm reading. I see it. Yeah, I see you struggled there. Craven Corinth, like, I've done him with obviously the charms and all that. I don't think I used charms. I think I just used the braziers. Was what I did. It actually did. That's not good. He's attacking me. So you got to be careful of that. Don't get too close because if you knock him back, you could end up hamming yourself and not be able to get out of the Fan of Desolation. I don't know why I didn't push him the first time, but okay. That was unexpected. So not that close. And I should probably hold on to my Confront memories so that way I don't waste it there. That was my bad. Well, I probably should have done my ring as soon as I could. As I was approaching him after binding him. I could probably even do it even before I start the fight to kind of get the cooldown going. I'm gonna get hit. But I had my shield up luckily. It's not get eaten up by the orb. I missed. I wasn't going to make time on that. 50%. How and... Now we got to zone out and clean our inventory again. Really wish they'd add a vendor in here just so you can get rid of this crap. A vendor and a mailbox. I almost feel like maybe I'm not unleashing enough. I feel like if I take that first haste, though, and as long as I do the mechanic, I should be fine. And that way I can maximize my damage on that first one. Nope, that's not the character I want. Fish, fish, fish. Fish. And then herbs. Trash, 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 trash. Let's try this again. I always forget to do that when I come back in. Well, yeah, I know they're both on the steward, but it's an hour cooldown. And, like, I can do like 60 of these fights in that hour. I mean, that's exaggerating, but like 30 of these. And like, if I can only summon him like every hour, I mean that sucks. I mean, it's not bad, but I just wish it was in here, kind of like up there on the platform. I mean, it's not like being able to mail myself stuff is gonna like break the mechanic of the fight. I feel like that thing had a lot more health than normal. Actually, this way we can this. Ouch. This one's not going so smooth. Nope, that's not what I want. That'll definitely mess things up. Well, I guess normally I don't normally DPS it like that. I normally hit it with Aspirin's Binding. That was probably my mistake there. Oops. That's bad. There's that. Like, how the hell am I supposed to do more damage here? I still feel like we could probably take the haste one on that first one. I haven't been. So that way we can maximize that first output. And I feel like we're moving around too much too. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, that frost might be the way to go. God, I hope he chooses this side. I'm screwed. As soon as he like makes contact with me again. He's always so far away. Why didn't that go off? I am so hosed. How in God's name did someone do this with Ring of Warding? I feel like he's getting to absorb way too much of the anima. I might just go with Frost, in all honesty. Well, let's try it. If I can do that first shield and then doing a haste, maybe. Let's try that. Let's try. Because we're definitely going to need that first shield. He managed to make contact with me. That's not good. Ah! I swear to God, they make it. I'm just gonna lose this. I let him bump me with the melee, which screwed me. I let him bump me. That was my bad. Let's try that again. Because I feel like this wouldn't be too bad with the ring. You just got to do it right. But yeah, not getting bumped is not ideal. Let's grab it. Start DPSing him. I thought he was going to teleport already. He didn't. That might ham me there. Yeah, I figured we weren't going to get lucky enough. But that seemed right. I mean, we still not enough time. I mean, I guess right now there's time going by. Yeah, crap. I'm not even going to worry about my inventory this time. I probably could have because the reduced cooldown on. Oh, okay. Just want to pop the first shield and you start to have the haste up sooner. So probably hit him with the binding, pop the shield. Oh, crap. Ah, he touched me. This is bad. Unless we get lucky. There's no way in 2 seconds I'm going to do that. It's actually probably. Oh, he teleported anyway. He was clean across the map. There was no way I was getting to that. Being sloppy on this. I need to keep the fight here more centralized, and I know that too, so that way it's easier to get to. I almost feel like I should hold on to that first unleash until he goes to go for the anima orb, aim it over there, and be able to destroy it, the anima orb and do damage to him. Would probably be the safer bet. I don't want to sit on such a large attack. I shouldn't. Well, that first one I shouldn't have used my bindings when I did. I should have saved it until I was over there, so that way I could have binded him and then attacked. So let's try this. So that. I'm gonna pop that. All we can do is stand here and take it at this point. We're closer. But I feel like we could have done a little bit more damage somewhere else. I probably should have taken a shield when I did. Let's try that again. I think we're close. I mean, we're getting them down to like 10%, 13% range. Kind of got like an RNG lucky there with that first. Ah, crap. Here we go. What is up with this? I'm going to have to shield. I was hoping he'd go into his attack. I think I just completely missed with that. God damn. It's that heal. We might honestly have to switch over to that and hope for the RNG that he... Let's see, currency. Not too bad. Skip through that. We don't need to see it. How the fudge? I'm screwed. This just isn't going to happen. I don't want to make mistakes like that. I do feel like, though, that I definitely need to maybe hit him with that unleash when he goes to do that. But I mean, I'm gonna have to know where he's going. I messed that one up right out of the gates. Yes, yes, yes. You can't carry anymore. I wonder if it'd almost be easier on... Well, I probably can't say it'd be easier on Clea for the raw fact that he's going to be doing all that melee damage. Let's try that again. Because I feel like I don't want to be obviously out here when he's running towards the orb if he goes up over in that corner. See, I feel like that was another one where it was just not in my favor there. Come on, go to the center. Hmm. I felt like he consumed a lot more on that one too. I probably did a little early. What? I'm dead. Well then, go sit down and relax. Go get something to drink, some water. Sip on it. You're not gonna throw up. You're fine. So we gotta wait a little bit longer on that shield there. Really? So would you just use? So would you do the turn up down there? I guess then technically I could even start it with I guess yeah. I would. I guess interesting. I'm gonna try to do it without doing that, just because if they patch it that way. Well, I guess I could just explain it as it could get patched. Eh. Okay, let's try this again here. I'm gonna try to hold off on this shield here. Close. I almost feel like so for this for Craven Corn, do you really do you have to take it into the enrage, or you have to make sure that you can down him before he enrages? Well, last time I defeated him, it was because of that. I feel like I needed to get that shield out just a little bit sooner in that second phase. I probably honestly could have gone with a haste one there too. As soon as it's up, just go for the haste, and then once the shield's up, it should give it to me while he's doing that. As long as I do it intelligently. I feel like I've got to take like 2 hastes there. One after that first one, and then a haste after the teleport. Target him. Let's not get eaten by a stupid orb. Nah, too much damage. I let that orb chew me up. I let that orb chew me up. Well, with the turnip, I'm gonna hold off on that because if they ever patch it, I mean, unless that's the strategy right now, is if that's what everyone's doing. I feel like I can do it without the turnip. So with the turnip would work on every fight though, right? Including like Ecthra and all of that, even with Clea and Mechanicos, where you could just stack a bunch of energy. I think that just completely missed. Why? Oh my god, this is a wipe. Let's just go jump off the edge. I missed him with the thing because I attacked early. That's not a lesson in humility, that's a lesson in my own stupidity. That's what that is. Okay, let's try this again. Let's try that again. He said he did it with the least amount of moving. I feel like doing like locking him in place, then doing it, locking him in place. Oh my god, I'm not targeting him. Each one does about 6% of his health, it looks like. I took a shield. Why aren't you attacking him? He should be getting ready to teleport here. Oh my god, and I just ran right through that. Yeah, I'm screwed. Is it really going to come down to the RNG of, like, getting that? I messed that up, too. I wasn't targeting him and all kinds of stuff. But, I mean, is that what, like, a lot of people are doing as far as, like, the strategy? I mean, you could start. I mean, with an unleash, what? That's six. Or we'll say 7,000 for easy math. So I mean, that's like what 1/14 of his health. Don't do it, little. Okay. I just feel like if I did this right, here we're gonna go with the haste on this one. And of course, it's got to be in the most obnoxious place. That's not good. Yeah, he's already consumed, even though he was at 60. We're screwed. Gotta be an easier way to, like, and as we sit here and run through like stuff. My shield dropped literally right as that hit me. God damn. How did they manage to do this with Ring of Warding? I feel like you go shield, haste, haste, shield, and then shield one more time after he enrages. So you want to make sure that you're ready to go. But I feel like, well, I guess you don't want to hold on to an unleash. You probably want to do that as soon as you can. Hello, little. Oh, crap. That was a bad idea. Bad idea. Now we're gonna die. I almost feel like you have to sit him up here so that way you're... Whoa. Get out of the window. Get out of the window. You know better than that. Bad little. And were you also using the Ring of Warding, or were you using the Lich Frost Vial to try to get him to not consume? Because I feel like not having him not consume there is almost... But then I guess you have to take the shields. Because I feel like if I get the haste there, and then the second haste, obviously without having dump all of his crap on me there... No, John! John, that doesn't sound like you're doing schoolwork. So I want you out here on the laptop now. If he's done, you can be on the laptop. Kids not getting their schoolwork done. Thank you, COVID, for making their education that much harder. Okay, let's try this again. I feel like this is doable. I feel like I'm just making mistakes on mechanics. Let's do that. Make sure we're targeting him. Target him. I need you to go in the center. I'm gonna die. Ah, crap. I hit 4 instead of 3 there. But even then, I don't think I would have made that, because he... So that's what I was thinking too, holding on to that unleash for that purpose there. That's what I was thinking. So that way... That's what I was thinking. Because he's only going to do 1 consume, but you got to be able to do it instantly and break it. So as long as you know where he's at and you're close enough, you'd be able to hit almost any angle. Let's try this again. We'll get this. So we'll sit that unleash then until... I should have turned that around. That was foolish of me. There we go. If I would have just done that before, thank you so much, Atsgonia, for convincing me to finally do what I thought was a decent idea. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So, best thing to do is sit that first, unleash, wait until that anima orb comes up, instantly destroy it, prevent him from healing. Make sure to use your Ring of Warding to keep him away from you. Time it well with your Aspirant's Binding. Try not to take too much damage while you're waiting on that second haste on before you take that final shield going into his final phase, because then that way you can time it perfectly. So if he does manage to enrage, you've got a second shield there, worst case scenario. Now watch it turn out I accidentally turned on a Bergier. So Azeriks. I still feel like that'd be a fight really meant for Clea. I really do. Yeah, yeah, first try, everybody. First try. We did that first try. Let's not count the other 19. That's what I was thinking that too. I kept debating that in my head to freaking use Unleash right there, and I was... I need to be more open to my own like suggestions, or even I mean you mentioned it, and I was finally like, you know what? I was like, that sounds right. I was hesitant, and I was like something. I was like I feel like I need to do damage. I think that's like I feel like with the timers, like you feel like you have to just push the clock, and there's certain things that you want to do. Now I got an all bunch of crap. Let's do the herbs because I think we got a few herbs in there. Really? More of that. Okay, let's send that out. Start with the fish and boop, meat. Herb. Oop, no, that goes. I needed to send that to the other character too. Herb, herb. How did I miss that? Is there one more herb in here somewhere? There it is. Well, there's all that ore. My poor demon hunter is gonna have a mailbox just full of fish, meat, and random stuff. It's gonna be like, you only love me for sending me random crap in the mail. Okay. Nope. Stir. Fish. Reagent. That and that. We're also sending the meat. Send. Ooh. So. That's 14. What else is clogging my inventory here? Well, besides everything. We don't need that 14 of that. What is that? Anima. Okay. So all that we have left is Azeriks. I want to kind of give that an attempt on Clea. And take the Phial of Serenity, and once she goes, ham, being able to just crit the crap out of him. Using his own ads as fuel for crits. Because I just feel like that fight's meant for her. Gotta take a quick AFK. I hear some children cussing that shouldn't be using foul language, so I'll be right back. Oh man, came back from that AFK and it sounded like someone was tickling a ghost outside my house. That was random. Okay. So we're going to try this on Clea. And as always, I do my guides live, so I apologize for anyone watching for what you're about to see. Thank you so much for joining me today on the Path of Ascension Humility. We are working towards Master of the Path. All we have left is Azeriks. I'm going to give this a try on Clea since he does have ads and she has mechanics that allow ads to basically increase her damage in the forms of crit. So of course what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to our Soul Mirror. We're going to come down here to Azeriks. We come over here to Humility. I've already chosen Clea for this since it is the fight and I want him to summon his ads. We're going to use the Phial of Serenity so that way we have extra health. So what I was talking about with the ads, you see here, you'll get Pointed Courage, so critical strike chance increased by 20% for every ad within range. So there's 4, so it's by 5 for each. And the other aspect of this is once we go into Archon's Blessing, we'll get Keen Insight, and for every ad that it kills, we get 10% per enemy, and he summons about 6 of them, so that's going to be pretty much guaranteed crits, so we'll be doing about 15,000 damage to him per hit. And then we're just going to go balls to the wall damage on him. So for this fight, so Azeriks has several abilities here. The first one is Devouring Rift. He'll cast it. You'll get a big black-blue swirl underneath your feet. You want to move out of that. Once it gets to it, he'll shoot a little beam to it, a little ball. It'll detonate. It'll do a lot of damage. So you want to make sure to move out of that. From there, it'll have a spreading out AoE about this range with a ball in the center that rotates around slowly. It does have a line that kind of passes through it that will blow outwards. So if it's right here, for example, it'd blow out here and blow out here. And if it was here, it'd blow out here, or here, or here. And then, of course, he has Infestation, which will summon the ads. The areas where they come in at will be tiny blue and black swirls underneath your feet. You want to move out of that as they detonate when they first arrive. And when you kill them, they will detonate again. So you want to be mindful of that as well. You can also kite them into the rifts. They will get sucked in and get killed. Once again, underneath the rift, they will detonate. So if you're running through the rift or whatever you're doing, do be mindful of that so that way you don't get caught by their detonation when they get sucked in. And then his final ability is he does a frontal slam, which is engorged slam. You can easily just sidestep it, avoid it, and all of that. He is a melee boss, so he will follow you around. So of course we'll be DPSing him with Ascended Strike. We'll also be using that to kill his ads. It does damage in a frontal cone. The more to the center it is, the more damage it does. So for example here you see it did 6,000, only 3,000 wings, but that's crits. See, this is what I hate. They're all on the wings. Okay. There you go. So you see it did only 1,500. But she's doing a lot of crit. And then, of course, we'll be using Keen Insight to retaliate when the ads aren't, when we're not in our Archon's Blessing. And Leap of Faith if we can jump behind for the Devouring Rift. But like I said, we're going to be using his ads as basically crit magnets. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ring the bell. So you do the same as well. And then also leave a like, leave a comment. Make sure to follow me or subscribe if you're watching on YouTube or Twitch. You can find me on Twitch at _Dab86. Are you going to come visit, Peach? Are you going to visit before we do this fight? No, you're going to run by. Okay. So let's go ahead and get this started here. Behave, Peach. So we're going to start this off by retaliating and jumping to his location. He'll open up with a slam. That will be his first ability. He's just going to backpedal, I guess. His Infestation should know Devouring Rift should be next, so here that comes. And then we're just going to move out of that. And we'll go ahead and take that first health. Here comes his Infestation. No, that was a slam. Let's move him away from this. Wow. Damn. We might have to interrupt Infestation until we're ready. I also wasn't targeting him there for part of that. I noticed that. I did notice that. So we're going to take Clea. So we will take the Deep Echo Trident. I also think we were kind of close on that. And this is, of course, Master of the Path, so we have no charms and no Bragier's Lit. I did change it to the Deep Echo Trident, so that way I can interrupt the infestations until I'm ready to. But once again, we're going to leap to him. We're going to pop that. We're going to backpedal a little bit here. Going to DPS him here. The first thing he should do is his Slam, which should be coming up here. Next thing he does is a Devouring Rift, which won't appear until his cast bar is full. So here it comes. So we're just going to go right through him. We like need to get him like to follow us. Come here, you. Oh my god. I let that one detonate on me. That was my one mistake. We need to kind of kite him more away from the rifts. Normally, I feel like he's followed me more, but I feel like he's really sticking right there. A Vial of Latrosh, Deep Echo Trident. Let's give that another try here. I mean, all in all, he doesn't have much health. I mean, if I can hit him for 14k, what? Okay. Let's see if we can get him to follow me away from that rift. There we go. So the next thing he should cast should be Infestation here. I think he's slamming. I used that too early. That's pulling me in. There's the Infestation, which is problematic. I did use that too early. I need to wait for that other Infestation. I need to also move him more away from the rifts. I literally just said that and then didn't follow my own advice. Literally said that and followed none of my own advice. That's okay, though. We've got tokens. We've got time. Should be a song. We got tokens. We got time. I didn't realize how much... I'm probably not going to try to DPS that first one. I'm just going to jump it. Because I didn't realize just how much health those little things have. I've always just kind of, I guess, blown them up with Pelagos, I guess. Which seems kind of odd that I'm not blowing it up with Clea, since her hits tend to be a little bit more lethal. Peaches, what are you doing? What are you doing, sweetheart? But I definitely feel like I gotta move him away from those rifts. I just so totally stood in that. Oh my god. Let's get him away from that. Let's do that. Get them killed. When did I use... There we go. Come on, follow me away from these rifts. Okay, there's that. Let's do this. I got hit by stuff I shouldn't have. I gotta keep him away from those rifts. Yeah, it's probably also good too. Because they're not hard to honestly kite. And then once you got a guaranteed crit, I mean, you only have to hit, what, 10 times? I mean, worst case, you jump a few into a thing. I almost say File of Serenity might not be too bad, and then just use your leap to kind of slow him down and backpedal away from him. Let's give this. I just want to see how this goes. I use my leap to kind of slow him down a little bit more and kind of kite him around. So we did change over to the File of Serenity, and I chose Pelagos. Hmm. There's no way out. Now that sucks. That was a waste of a medallion. But it is what it is, I guess. How many do we still have? 35? That's not too bad. But I want to do this as Clea. Because I know you can do it as Pelagos because he doesn't do... I mean, he's pretty good at keeping away from you. Okay, nope. That's not what I wanted. File Serenity. I wanted to try with File. That was my bad. Yeah, because all you got to do is get the crit and then just blow him up, and then you just got to hit him, what, really like 14 times at that point? Let's go park it over here. That took a big hit somewhere. And combat log doesn't log any of that. Nope, let's not make that mistake again. Because I feel like we had that. I feel like she was doing a little less damage than normal during that. I guess 1200 would be about right. Because a crit there was normally like 6,000, so I guess 1200 would be about, or 12,000 would be about right. Try that again. No, it probably doesn't hurt too. We'll try the Vial of Lich Frost. So that way, once they start spawning, I can do that. And that way, I don't have to worry about kiting them around so much. I just have to move him away from them. And I felt like I probably started that a little bit far away from him. I probably should have leapt to him so that way they all came to me, and then that way I didn't waste some time. That was not what I wanted to do. I forgot that I had that. That I had the file still. Let's drop this away. Let's go over here. Come on, you. Come here. That actually might suck some of them in. Come on. It's not bad, but I don't have the energy. There we go. Wasted valuable seconds there. I'm wasting a lot of time by not being near him. I meant to leap, but it didn't go off. I feel like still like the file is still kind of the way to go there. Well, since we're doing Master of the Path, I know Pelagos will work for it because he's so much single target, and I don't have to worry about him being near me. Okay, we want Deep Echo Trident definitely for Pelagos. Okay, once again, I apologize to do all my guides live. So thank you once again for joining me for the final battle of Path of Ascension, Master of the Path, Azeriks. So we are going to be using Pelagos for this. So you're going to come over here to your Soul Mirror. You come down to Azeriks. You come over to Humility. I've already chosen Pelagos, but you come over here, and we're going to take the Deep Echo Trident. I will explain that here in a second. So for Azeriks, he has 3 abilities. The first one is Devouring Rift. He will summon a rift under your feet. It is indicated by a giant swirl that is black and blue. It doesn't appear until the end of his cast, so you can kind of move around to place it where you want to place it before it goes off. And then once he does it, you'll see a ball come from it. It'll hit, it'll detonate, and then a ball will form above it. It'll rotate around in a circle, and it has a line that kind of blows through it. So if it was aiming this way, it'd go here and here. And if it was aiming this way, it'd go here and here, or vice versa. Whichever direction, it'll do both sides. The second thing is he does Infestation. It's why we took the Deep Echo Trident, so we can interrupt that as quickly as we can. He normally starts the fight off by doing an Engorged Slam, followed by a Devouring Rift, followed by another item, and then his Infestation. So you do have a little bit of time there before you have to worry about it. And then of course his third ability, like I just mentioned, is Engorged Slam. You'll have, of course, Test of Faith for single target, Aspirin's Binding to help you control him and his ads away from you. Confront Memories. Whenever we can, we'll probably take the Haste. We'll also probably be taking the Shield. And then, of course, we'll use Unleash normally to kind of clean everything up. And then with the ads from Infestation, you can kite them to the Devouring Rifts. They'll get sucked in, and then they will get destroyed. Do be mindful when the Infestation ads do get summoned or when they die. They do explode on the location they were summoned to or die at. So do be mindful of that so you don't blow yourself up where you killed them. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ring the bell, and just like me, make sure you do the same as well, so that way you can see whenever I do new content. And then also make sure to leave a like, leave a comment, follow or subscribe whether you're watching on YouTube or Twitch. And on Twitch you can find me at the_Dab86. And there's also a link in the description of the fight down below. So all we got to do... Okay, so I'm going to start off here by making him a little bit mad. Since he's not going to come straight for me, we're going to take the haste. Because he's going to do the slam here first. There's the slam. Let's get out of the way. We didn't get out of the way. Let's keep DPSing him. Here comes the Devouring Rift. We're going to go ahead and hold him in place. Continue doing that. Continue. We're going to take the shield here because he's doing his infestation. We're going to wait for all of them to be up. This should clean it up because now they've got a dot on them. There's another Devouring Rift. I like to kind of park them in the center because of the way they function. We're going to take the shield. We're going to move away from him. We're going to do that just to kind of hold those ones in place so I can get around here. We're going to kite these three. Didn't get all of them. That's okay. I'm taking a ton of damage. Probably because I think I was too close to that rift. God almighty. I didn't use my spear. I completely messed that up. Supposed to be interrupting that, and I did not at all. And then, let's see here. And this is for a Master of the Path, so no charms, no braziers. Almost took the wrong thing there. Should be doing a slam. Let's get out of the way of it this time. Next should be Devouring Rift. We're just going to DPS while this is going on. We should be getting ready to infest, so we're going to move away from him, and there's infest. We're going to go ahead and we're going to do this. Clean this up. Let's get away from that. That's a slam. We did not get out of the way of that. We're going to go ahead and take a shield here. Bring it in a little bit. Go ahead and kill these here. We did not interrupt that as quickly as I would have liked. We're not doing nearly as much damage as we should be. And we lost our shield right as he did that. God damn. We had our infest up, or our spear up. I don't know why I didn't use it fast enough, so we ended up with like 3 ads there. Still feel like clay is kind of like the way to go on this, though. Give it one more try as Pelagos. Let's give this another try here. If not, we'll go back to Clea. Because I understand it's supposed to be Pelagos with the Deep Echo Trident. I mean, unless you perfectly time it, like... Next thing you should do is infest. There it is. Oh my god, I was out of that, wasn't I? That might actually hit me. I don't know, maybe just actually doing the mechanic, not going heavy on the haste. Well, maybe going out, getting that first haste still, and then going for a shield after that. Maybe that's the smarter choice. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I mean, like, is there any way to perfect? I mean, unless you have like a timer that's almost running, like a perfect, flawless timer. Because Unleash will deal with them pretty well, but having to run so far away, like, is obnoxious. Let's try it with the Vial of Lich Frost. I still think Clea would still be in theory, is technically the easiest. I still feel like technically, in theory, she's the easiest. I did that a little too early there. Now they're going to chew up my health. Holy crap, didn't I just kill like several of them? Like, how did... Why can't I use my item anymore? There we go. That slam's probably gonna hit me. God damn. Another infestation already? God damn. Let's let that go off. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do that. Oh no, I don't think I'm making time here. It's gonna be close. Yeah, no way. I'd need to do almost 50,000 more in damage. Jesus. I don't know. Keeping his ads under control is rough. I feel like if I might give it another try with Clea. I really feel like this is doable with her. Yeah, because I know Unleash does the big damage, then of course it dots him and all that, and that way. Now we run. Until we've got our thing here, until he infests again. Why do I feel like I'm taking damage from a range that makes no sense? Come on, go ahead and infest. Go ahead and infest. Come on. Come get me. Oop, did that too soon. And we did it! That is Master of the Path! Jesus Christ, we finally did it! We finally did it. We finally did it. So I'll make sure to get all this footage. We did have a change of plans there. We tried a few different strategies there if you were watching live. I did do it with the Phial of Serenity for health. I did kite around the ad so that way we could get the max amount of crit. I accidentally used my Keen Insight a little bit early there on that second Archon's Blessing. So, but it managed to work out because you do get the crit buff from having stacking enemies and all that. So it kind of helped me with the extra 20%. We were able to blow them up and we were able to do it. So thank God we managed to do that. Now the nightmare begins, of course, for Disciple of Humility. We still have quite a few fights. I actually, before we call anything here, I actually want to try Numenuru. But of course, we're going to be doing it with braziers, so we're going to try Numenuru and probably Thantriok because I want to see if I can do. Because Numenuru should be relatively easy. It's just a matter of blowing up fairies and stuff. And then, as always, I do my guides live, so I apologize for anyone coming in. And thank you so much for the grats. You know, everyone that's managed to do this, whether it's from the guides, under their own power, good job. It's always good. You know, we're ascending as a group. I've thought about creating an actual in-game social network as well. So that way, you know, let me know in the comment section. I've been thinking about doing that. Creating an actual community for the Path of Ascension and for other things, for people looking for groups and stuff like that. And that way you can come and chat with me in game and stuff like that. Let me know. I'm curious on what your guys' thoughts are on that. Thank you so much for joining me today on the Path of Ascension. We are working towards our Disciple of Humility. So we will be doing Numenuru today on Clea. So we're going to come over here to our Soul Mirror. We choose Numenuru. We choose Humility. We're going to choose Clea. For this, since the amount of damage, I'm not going to be able to soak it, I'm going to try it with the Phial of Serenity, because we're going to be moving from pack to pack of fairies to do the most damage that we can. So let me explain his abilities, and I'll explain our strategy. So for this, Numenuru is rooted in the center. He does cast the ability Sow, which will put fairies around the field. Those fairies are life-linked to him, so as you kill the fairies, they will do damage to him, so you always want to try to go for the biggest pack of fairies you can. The second ability he has is he summons a volatile fairy, which will explode if not killed in a timely fashion. You can interrupt that with Deep Echo Trident, but you still have to kill it. Once it explodes, it does die. The third fairy is a symbiotic fairy, which will do a shield to him. It has to die before he takes more damage, so do be mindful of that. The good thing with Clea is the more enemies that she has around her, she actually gets Pointed Courage, which adds 5% crit per enemy. So that's why we want to go for the biggest groups we can, because it'll increase her damage with Ascended Strike. Keen Insight, we're going to be saving that mostly for when we use Archon's Blessing, because it'll instantly kill everything around us, giving us 10% crit per enemy killed. So that way we can take out the biggest group we can. And then, of course, we'll be leaping from group to group with Leap of Faith. And then once we have our Archon's Blessing, it will on cooldown. As soon as we hit on cooldown, we'll be able to leap again. So we'll quickly leap from pack to pack, blowing them up. And then, of course, like I said, we went with the Vial of Serenity to help us with our health. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get this started. So I'm going to ring the bell. And just like you, make sure to do the same as well. So that way you can see notifications of when I add content or go live. And then, of course, leave a like, leave a comment. You can follow me on YouTube or Twitch. On Twitch, you can find me under the_Dab86. Yeah, that's a good route to go for farming the chests. The chests, I believe. So are the chests on spawn then? That's not bad then. Oh, I know what you're doing. Are you server hopping? So let's go ahead and get this started here. I'm not gonna do anything too crazy here. I don't want to leap just yet. So we're gonna. Oh, nice. So we should be getting our first one here. So we're going to hold off here because we don't have a lot of fairies up. So we're going to wait for this volatile, if we can. There it is. Where'd it go? It's over here in this corner. So it's down. We now got some new fairies to kill here. Where is he? Over here. We're going to go around the corner to mitigate the amount of damage we're taking here. Oh, God. Oof. I feel like we should have wiped up more fairies there rather than going straight to Numenuru. Just wiped the field. We should have wiped the field. Yeah, because you can get 4 there. If you do a lot of the rare spawns too, you can get a lot of the... I normally get 15 doing that, the chest and then the rare spawns a day. Make sure you're definitely doing your Covenant mission table. You can normally get about 2 quests at a time normally up. And I mean, that's good for 6 right there. 3 each, so 6 normally within a few hours. Make sure to do your callings when they're Bastion. Your Paragon for Bastion. Paragon will give you 8. The callings will give you 3 if they're Bastion. And if they're Torghast as well, they'll also give you Bastion. So that way you can maximize the amount of medallions you're getting. Because you are going to blow through a lot of medallions. I'm not going to lie on that. You will literally blow through medallions left and right. Oh, beautiful. I'm going to hide around the corner here so that way we don't take damage from the others. And that's Numenuru on Clea. There you go. So that is Clea. Not too hard. You just got to be careful about how you do things. I got lucky that that one fire one spawned right on top of me. So, Clea. Well, the only reason I didn't clear was because there was only one fairy on each side, but I guess he's not really doing damage himself. The fairies are, so that makes logical sense to kill what's actually doing damage. But I was hoping for a little bit bigger packs than like having to run over to like kill one fairy. But yeah, it makes sense. I got you. Okay, so we wanted to try Thantriok. Should probably also try Aldrin and Myrnir. I'm not looking forward to Craven Corinth. Okay. And Mad Mortimer, I'm probably honestly going to try to glitch. I'm not going to lie on that. Thank you so much for joining me today on the Path of Ascension Humility Guide for Clea. We, of course, are working towards Disciple of Humility, and holy Jesus, that's a phone call. Okay, so you're on and we're going. Okay, I'll wrap up what I'm Oh, okay, that was actually the phone call I was waiting to do to run errands. I guess we can give one quick try for Thantriok, though. So let me start this over here. Thank you so much for joining me today on the Path of Ascension Humility Guide for Clea. We are working on the Disciple of Humility. We're going to be doing Thantriok. So we're going to come over to our Soul Mirror. We come down to Thantriok. We're going to come over here to Humility. We do have our braziers lit. So we've chosen Clea. For this, we're going to have to go with the Deep Echo Trident because we need to interrupt Terminal Destruction. So the way this fight works is Thantriok is in the center. The biggest problem here is when you have to go DPS him, he not only casts spells, but he also melees as well. So that's a huge problem because he does a lot of slap damage too. So the way he works is he starts off in the center. He hasn't moved from the center, but he's got phylacteries around him. Each one of those phylacteries contains an ability. When you break it, that gives him the ability. So this one is Terminal Destruction, Greater Necrotic Bolt, Word of Suffering, and then Death Blossom over here. Since we are dealing with Clea, we don't have the shield from Confront Memories. So because he channels Death Blossom, that is probably the safest route to go, is starting on Death Blossom. And then probably Terminal Destruction because you can interrupt that. And then, of course, probably Greater Necrotic Bolt next, followed by Word of Suffering, because Word of Suffering is a dot, and there's not much you can really do about that because you have to focus on Terminal Destruction. So, of course, we'll be DPSing with Ascended Strike. We'll be using Keen Insight when it's up. We'll be using Leap of Faith to get to the boss. We'll be between the boss and hit to save us some time. And then Archon's Blessing as soon as it's up, and then we'll probably, if we can, we'll probably use it to blow up a Phylactery and then just doing as much damage. I mean, it's not going to be much crit. 10% is better than nothing, I suppose. But as you destroy Phylacteries on this fight, it does make him take 20%, or her take 20% increased damage for about 20 to 25 seconds, and then you have to go pop another Phylactery. So we're going to go ahead and ring the bell, and just like me, also do the same. So that way you can see when I add new content when I go live. And also make sure to leave a like, leave a comment. You can follow me or subscribe on YouTube or Twitch. And you can find me on Twitch under _Dab86. So let's go ahead and get this started here. And of course, you see him spawning here. He's putting out the 4 Phylacteries. I'll show you real quickly what it looks like on the abilities. So that way you can see it. So this first one in front of me, of course, it is Phylactery Destruction. It'll give him Terminal Destruction, which you do have to kick. If you don't kick it, it will kill you. This is Death Blossom. Of course, it will do a ring that goes out and around it, and you've got to find the safe spot to get around it. You can also probably leap if you absolutely need to. It is on a 10-second cooldown. He does channel that. Greater Necrotic Bolt is just as it says. It's just a spell that gets cast. And of course, he does lesser Necrotic Bolts as well throughout the entire fight. And then Word of Suffering over there in the corner. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start on this one. Oh my god, people aren't kidding. He does do a ton of slap damage. Jump! Oh my god. What did I hit? I think I hit 4. God, that sucked. They're not kidding when they say he does some serious slap damage. They were not kidding. Oh, now you show me freaking what's happening. Yeah, I've heard he's on the rougher side. Can't be any worse than my Ector runs the other day, where I wasted like 50 tokens, or medallions. We have to take that. Is it any easier on Oh, I guess with Mechanicos, I guess you can at least hop off and go collect energy or whatnot. Since he's kind of like immortal as long as you don't die as the bird. There's got to be a sweet spot to avoid that melee damage, though. I feel like they gave more openings, like, than normal. Oh my god, I really just jumped into that. So it looks like, does jumping over it even still make you take the damage? You can't? Because that's what I feel like. Because normally, as a warrior, I'd use my heroic leap to get over a lot of stuff, but it doesn't seem like you can actually jump it. It's almost like it's a wall. I'd almost be better going terminal destruction to start. There you go. Good job. Congrats. Numa Nuru, like, once I figured out, like, I had always suspected when I did the courage and then the loyalty that those fairies were life linked to him. But I mean, when you can't really see his life pool when you're targeting a fairy, it can be kind of hard to predict. So there does seem to be a sweet spot outside of his melee range. It's kind of hard to kind of see it here. Oh my god. So you want to kind of be at this sweet spot here. It looks like it's just right there at the tips of the thing. So he's going to do that. There's another Death Blossom. Oh my god. That was a lag spike right there. Yeah, you can't even leap it. So we got to kick that. What? Did I not? What did I take? Did I not take the spear? Is that what happened there? Did I forget to take the spear? Terminal destruction might even be a good way to start that. No, let's not try that. I think I forgot the spear. I could have sworn I picked it up. Yeah, I don't think I did, because I don't see its icon up there when I lost. Oh my gosh. We'll give this one more try, then I gotta go run my errands. Yeah, depending, because the it's not guaranteed how many fairies you get on that opening pull. So, I mean, if you can get like 4 or 5 or 6 fairies on him at the beginning, that is a great start. Normally, I always end up with the grouping of fairies on this side over here. So that should be a safe spot right here. Just outside of his melee. This is the part that sucks. So you got to keep in mind, you cannot leap over this. Like, it is... Oh, my God. Yeah, see, even then, I barely nick it. And he tagged me there for a big amount of damage. Let's go pop that. This is going to hurt. I can't interrupt that. So it almost looks like you might have to wait on terminal destruction and go with something else to make it where he's got more abilities in between. We might be able to get one more try out of this. Oop, you're not the one I want. We also might have to use actual charms. Kind of do it without that. Deep Echo. Almost tempted maybe to go with Great... Well, the least amount of damage I'm going to take is starting off with Death Blossom. That's going to be a fact. But maybe going Death Blossom, Greater Necrotic, and then Terminal Destruction. So that way there's more time there. Oh my god. There's no way. Oh my god. What kind of RNG is this? Like, there's no avoiding this. Like, how are you supposed to avoid something when it gives you the worst safe zones known to man? One more quick try. Oh, you're very welcome. Always glad to have everyone stop by and say hi. Yeah, that's some real like that can be bad RNG. Like that was bad. Like putting it on the opposite side of me. There's no way, and like you can't leap it. It's like an actual wall. It's not just a ground effect. It's an actual wall, and that's kind of crappy. I think I chose the spear. I hope I did. Well, I mean, I guess we could go greater necrotic. Start there. I want to give that another try. I feel like I could do that if I can get the right safe zones. Like I feel like they need to make the safe zones maybe like one on each side or something. Like maybe like two guaranteed, but not. Like see, this is some good RNG so far. Just gotta keep them out of range is all. Ooh, those hurt. Here comes another Death Blossom here. And we're gonna go with Terminal Destruction now. Now, if only your Archon thing like made it where you could fly over it, like it should just pass beneath you, in my honest opinion. Kind of like how her leap breaks the chains. I kind of feel like Archon's blessing should allow you, or like even like the Herald's foot pads should allow you to float over it with Pelagos. Since it normally makes him rise up, I really feel like it as long as you don't physically touch it on the ground. That wasn't too bad, but I can see what you're talking about there. Nope, that's not who I want. Kind of want to see how much damage Witchmacall it does. Word of Suffering. I've never honestly started with Word of Suffering. No volume on Twitch? Really? Let me check this. Oh, so I do. Do I have volume on Twitch? Is it being weird? Am I muted? Okay, okay, it's good now. Okay, close that. So let's try that. I wonder if you could use the turnip strategy here to see if you could build up. Because maybe I'll kick this. I kind of honestly want to see how much damage it does. So let's see what. Oh yeah, that. I mean, every 3 seconds. I could see where that could be an issue. I'm going to go ahead and interrupt that because the next thing we're going to do is take out that phylactery right there. I got tagged. That's a loss. There's Word of Suffering. So Word of Suffering, I definitely feel is one you want to go for last. I definitely feel like that is one you want to do last. Because that 3,000 every 3 seconds for what, 12? So, I mean, that's like 12,000 damage. So, I mean, that's like half, like a quarter of your health. So, I still feel like Death Blossom, Greater, Terminal, and then Word of Suffering. So that way you can maximize your damage there at the end. So how much health does he have? Because I haven't really looked at that. 282. I still feel like Death Blossom's the way to go. But we'll make this our last attempt for today. Oh crap. Too bad you just can't stand underneath him. Oh my god. Okay, we're gonna do this. Do that. Oh my god, because it brought me down. It like held me in place there for a second. I don't know if I can survive a hit from this. It's gonna be close. It's gonna be close. Terminal Destruction might honestly almost have to be last. That was close though. We did better. One more try. One more try. I want to get this done. How many we got? Currency 18. Oof. So that way we can get a lot of the Clea guides done. So I feel like Death Blossom, Greater, because I can I guess I could interrupt that, give me more time with that before I have to start worrying about Death Blossoms, then do Death Blossom, and but I feel like Death Blossom's the best way to mitigate the amount of damage because he's channeling, and as long as you avoid it, you can do a lot during that. So I mean, you could end up with 2 Death Blossoms there, almost probably 3 before you have to worry about it. If you interrupt the Word of Suffering and then interrupt the first Terminal Destruction, I would think you'd almost be at a second Archon's Blessing. I should. I've been meaning to do the PTR. But let's go ahead and terminal. Let's get Death Blossom going here. crap. I am probably hammed now. It's going to be... There's no way I'm going to make that. I might as well just soak this one. Lost a lot of damage there. And I needed to honestly punch that. Ugh. God, this is some terrible placements. I needed to ignore the greater necrotic there. I got some bad, like, RNG there. That really, like, stretched me across the zone. But I feel like if you can get it just right, like, it's rough, though, when you've got, like, the safe zone over here, for example, and then you're standing over here. There's no way to predict where it's going to be next. At least not like that I've logically been able to see. I mean, but, of course, I'm sure you'd have to analyze hundreds of hours of footage to be like, oh my god, if he does left, the safe zone goes in a counterclockwise or clockwise thing, and if you just go clockwise, you'll know exactly where it's at. I almost wish that like he would just rotate around. I think that'd be, but I mean, it is what it is. Already off to a bad RNG here. Well, I guess I kind of made up for it there. Okay. We're gonna do this. Kick that. Do some real damage here. I nicked it. And now I'm really boned. There's no way. Now, that word of suffering. Like that, like, god damn. You have to at least be able to eat one word of suffering. You have to eat that. But getting hit by a thing is not ideal. Because if you get hit by that and a word of suffering, it's over. Because you need to be able to have that cooldown next for terminal destruction there. Because I think once I would have come out of that, I think she would have been about ready for the phylactery to be hit. Greater necrotic bolt, suffering. And then I assume you probably interrupt the suffering rather than the greater necrotic bolt. I mean, we can give it a try. So we're going to try greater necrotic bolt here first. We're going to have to eat that one. I mean, I guess you could try line of sighting, but I guess you're punching a timer, so... Yeah, I'm not going to be able to interrupt that. I'm going to eat this one so that way we can interrupt the next word of suffering. I interrupted the wrong thing. That's a wipe. That's not bad. I mean, that's 60%. Okay, but I got to call it here for the day. Thank you, everybody, for coming and watching. We'll pick this up another day. I got to go farm up more medallions and all that good stuff. But I appreciate everyone coming. Make sure to hit the like or subscribe or anything before you go. I always appreciate it. And of course, you can follow me on Twitch at the_Dab86 as well. But thank you so much. Have a good day and stay safe as always.